Once upon a time, in the shimmering kingdom of Glimmerstone, there lived a bright and kind princess named Akira. She had hair like spun gold and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. She was loved by all for her gentle spirit and her warm smile, but deep down, Akira felt a little lost. Even with all the joys of her royal life, the grand feasts, the dancing, the music, she felt like something was missing, something that would make her heart sing. One blustery night, when the wind howled like a pack of wolves and raindrops drummed against the castle walls, Akira wandered the long, echoing corridors of her home. She was searching for a quiet spot to find peace, away from the noise of the storm. As she tiptoed through the hallways, she stumbled upon a narrow door, hidden behind a thick, velvet curtain. She had never noticed it before. Curiosity bubbled up in her like a playful stream. What could be behind this door, she wondered. With a gentle push, the door creaked open, and Akira found herself standing in a forgotten room filled with dust and shadows. But oh, what a room it was! There were rolls of colorful fabric stacked high, delicate lace hanging from hooks, and half-finished gowns draped over mannequins, their cloth whispering softly in the dim light. Akira felt a strange fluttering in her chest, like the first flicker of a flame. She reached out and touched a piece of fabric that seemed to glow under her fingers, a soft, golden silk that felt like the rays of the morning sun. And as she touched it, she felt something shift deep within her, like a lock turning and a door opening in her heart. Day after day, Akira found herself drawn back to that room. She began to experiment with the fabrics, draping them this way and that, trying to match colors and textures. At first, her hands were unsure, her stitches were crooked, and the threads tangled around her fingers. But oh, she was so full of wonder. Each time she tried, she felt a little spark of joy that made her heart beat faster. Little did Akira know, she was not alone. From a tiny crack in the wall, Srijana, a little fairy of creativity, watched over her with twinkling eyes. Srijana had wings like delicate petals, and she fluttered around the room with a soft, gentle hum, always just out of sight. Whenever Akira felt stuck, unsure of what to do next, Srijana would wave her tiny wand, and a breeze would lift a forgotten sketch or bring a roll of fabric tumbling to Akira's feet. And there was another, who watched quietly from the shadows, Prince Elian. Now, Elian had always loved Akira, from the time they were children playing in the gardens. But he had never found the courage to tell her, for he feared she might not feel the same. Instead, he watched her with admiration as she discovered this new passion, his heart swelling with every smile that graced her lips. To help her, he would leave small gifts, threads of silver and gold, a bundle of rare fabrics, and sometimes, a little note with words of encouragement, though he never signed his name. Akira, unaware of her two silent helpers, felt her confidence growing with each passing day. Her hands grew steadier, her designs bolder. She played with colors like a painter, mixing blues with greens and pinks with purples, creating gowns that seemed to tell stories of far-off lands and hidden dreams. She didn't know why, but she felt as if the room itself were helping her, guiding her in ways she couldn't explain. But not everyone in Glimmerstone was happy with Akira's newfound love for fashion. Oh no, there was one who watched from afar with eyes as cold as winter frost, Veronica, the most famous designer in all the land. Veronica had ruled the world of fashion for years, her gowns as fierce and striking as she was. She loved dark, dramatic colors, deep blacks, metallic silvers, and sharp edges that cut through the air like lightning. She believed fashion was a a way to make people feel small and herself feel grand. When Veronica heard whispers of Akira's growing talent, a wicked smile crept across her face. "How dare this princess think she can challenge me?" she sneered. Determined to crush Akira's spirit, Veronica announced a grand fashion showdown, a contest to decide the true fashion queen of Glimmerstone. At first, Akira felt her heart quiver like a leaf in the wind. Could she really stand against someone as powerful as Veronica? But then, she remembered the joy she felt in that little room, the way the fabric seemed to dance in her hands. She took a deep breath, stood tall, and decided she would try no matter what. And so, the days flew by, filled with the soft sound of scissors cutting fabric, the hum of needles, and the rustle of cloth. Akira worked tirelessly, crafting gown after gown, each more beautiful than the last. She created dresses that flowed like rivers, gowns that sparkled like stars, and robes that felt as warm as a summer's breeze. With every stitch, she felt her confidence grow, and with every design, she felt her heart swell with pride. The day of the fashion showdown arrived, and the grand ballroom of Glimmerstone was transformed into a dazzling runway, filled with flowers and sparkling lights. The people of the kingdom gathered, their eyes wide with anticipation, eager to see who would win. Veronica went first. Her models walked the runway in her dark, commanding designs, long gowns that shimmered with silver and black, their edges sharp like the blade of a sword. Each step they took was filled with power and pride, and the audience watched in awe and fear. Then, it was Akira's turn. She took a deep breath, her heart pounding in her chest, and nodded to her models. As they stepped onto the runway, the crowd gasped.
Whoa!
Akira's designs were soft and flowing, filled with colors of the sea and sky, of fields of flowers and the light of dawn. Her dresses danced with every step, catching the light and turning it into rainbows. They were filled with joy and wonder, unlike anything anyone had seen before. But Veronica, with a sneer, whispered a dark spell under her breath. Suddenly, the colors of Akira's final dress began to fade, the light dimming as if a shadow had fallen over it. The audience gasped in dismay, their hearts sinking. But Srijana, who had been watching from above, knew just what to do. She fluttered down and, with a flick of her wand, released a shower of golden dust that filled the air. And oh, the magic! The dress burst back into life, its colors brighter and more beautiful than ever before, glowing like a sunrise after a storm. The audience erupted into applause, their cheers echoing through the ballroom. The judges smiled and declared Akira the winner, praising her creativity, her courage, and her heart. Veronica, defeated, slunk away, unable to match the light and joy that Akira had brought to the stage. As Akira stood there, surrounded by the cheering crowd, she felt her heart swell with pride and happiness. She glanced over and saw Prince Elian, his eyes filled with admiration and love. She knew then that she was not alone, that she had friends who believed in her, even in the quietest, most secret ways. From that day on, Akira became known not just as a princess, but as a beacon of creativity and joy, a true inspiration to all of Glimmerstone. She had found her passion, discovered her courage, and followed her heart, lighting up the kingdom with her love and light. And so, dear ones, Akira, Prince Elian, and Srijana lived happily, creating and dreaming in the magical land of Glimmerstone, reminding us all that when you follow your heart, wonderful things can happen. And they lived creatively, joyously, and ever so happily ever after.